Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where we are pushing our way into Nova Scotia, but we are definitely limited a bit here by our supplies. That said, we definitely want to get these nuclear reactors built, so we'll just get those going for now. Of course, we have no way to drop the nuclear bombs because we don't have any strategic planes, but I guess that's fine. So for right now, I'm just thinking about how we have this laid out. This is definitely not efficient at all. Not efficient in the slightest. I'm going to grab these guys, and we are... Well, actually, this order is the one we need. We are going to change this around a bit. I want this offensive line to be like this. Just get this out of here. There we go. As far as this over here goes, we're broadly blockading it, but we can really offensive line over here as well. And that should be fine. So the East Coast offensive operation, huh? I like it. And then this over here, these guys are just kind of chilling. And I would like them to eventually push out here. I'm wondering, yeah, there's a connection there. I'm thinking right now, simply push out to like this river here. Like that. Okay, go ahead and execute that. So off we go. We're going to push them back in a lot of locations here and really consolidate this, is what we're looking to do. Cool. We're not trying to get too aggressive here right now, but I'd like to get this all moved back together-ish so that we can go onto one army group. I'd like to get all this backline cleaned up here. That is part of this province? Okay, noted. So that'll be fine. And eventually, we're just going to want to just move in like this. That'll stack wipe them. Cool. Yeah, they're retreating. So we'll move in like so. They have no real way to stop us here. And then these guys will get redirected. We have probably too many troops here, but what is going on here? Why are we not attacking this? Get in here. Like, just stack wipe them. It'll be fine. Cool. So that'll get redirected as well. Improved centimetric radar has finished up, so let's finish off our radar with advanced centimetric radar. And I believe this is the last round of upgrades, because I did get modern large airframe. There was an available research right before I started it. I queued that up. So I believe that's every research now either finished or underway. So that's magnificent. Eventually we'll start to actually have to think about our air and navy maybe, but for now, it seems to be okay. Advanced guided missile is fine. We'll put the mountain division out over here. There's nothing else for us to research, so we're just going to right-click that research slot available. Cool. You guys, get on in here. Get that stack wiped. This infantry division can go into our reserves. That's looking absolutely fine. I do want to check in on our logistics here. We're negative on our artillery and infantry equipment for the time being. Okay. Now, I believe that we are... Okay, we're still working our way through our weapons here. I want to swap this, though, and do something kind of like this. For a bit, anyway. Okay. There we go. What are these guys? Actually, we're kind of going to take an operational pause over here, I feel like. Because I want to get these nuclear reactors done. Like, done. So I think an operational pause on this side is just fine. An operational pause over here is maybe a bit less fine. I want to select these guys. Okay, let's have these assigned here. I want that stack wiped. Keep going. There you go. And then these forces can get redirected down here. Hopefully that'll be enough to push into this area proper. But for now, that'll be fine. Hello, Nova Scotia. I'm noticing you're here. So, with that in mind, we're going to tell all of these guys except... Well, actually, we're just going to grab this army here. And we're going to tell them, come front line over here. All of you. With an offensive line being... right down here in Massachusetts. Okay, get in there. Now, as to why this is this way, I don't know. I feel like we took this, and I don't see enemy units here. Oh, there are a couple. They must have landed over here. Okay. That's not the first time they've done that. We may want to get our Navy, or a Navy anyway, up patrolling up here. Okay. So we'll get that underway. And yeah, they do confirmed have a few forces here. But honestly, I think we'll be fine. Our supplies in this region are solid. It's up here that supplies get really sus. So that's okay. That's all looking good. And these guys will stack wipe. No problem. Beautiful. So this army can now be assigned back to this order. There we go. And this army here, we want to select all of it and assign it to this order. There we go. Much better. Beautiful. So with that underway, the question now becomes, how's our nuclear reactor construction commencing? It's almost half done. Almost half done. We could definitely begin work on supply hubs, but not connect them in via rail just yet. Doing instead something kind of like this. Actually, I am going to connect them in via rail. So we can connect this up like so. And then connect this in like so. Cool. That all looks reasonable to me. We'll connect these up something like this. Connecting that in there, and then that can connect like so and like so. Fantastic. This should definitely be connected in via rail if it's not. There we go. Same with this naval port. There we go. And then just connect straight up like that. Looks good to me. Maybe a bit of a straight shot missing here, so we could do something like that. Then we move these up to the top, and then we move the nuclear reactors to the top. Like so. This way at least it's queued up, and it'll get started. Eventually. We're going to be finishing up a bunch of these on 27 April, but these that are just getting started, they're going to be done in September. So that's going to be a while. Noted. We should also eventually begin construction on maxing out these naval dockyards, but again, those are low priority and only if we aren't doing anything else. So something kind of like that and that and that. Okay. So these get brought down to the lowest of low priorities. Done. Cool. So we're definitely pausing a bit here. There's no doubt about that. We're not in any huge rush. And looking at our logistics, that should mean that we are working our way through some of these deficits. In theory, anyway. Ish. We're working our way through the deficits, ish. Is, I think, the official way to say that. Fantastic. I would like to unify this front and eliminate this front, but that'll take a little time. Advanced centimetric radar finishes. Of course, nothing we can do with that. We can train this guy, and he can actually control up to 30 units now, so we might want to consider pulling some units over for that. We can grab him Army Logistics. Cool. And then there's this guy. He can get a new trait. He can get... Amphibious is not super helpful, but I guess sure. He can grab Naval Liaison as well. And he can get an Officer Corps role. There we go. He's our Amphibious Assault Specialist, apparently. So we should definitely consider moving additional units in here. And I think we should move in additional tanks. So, do we have any tank units in here? We have a modern tank brigade. A total of 1. Noted. Okay. Well, we'll move that over. And eventually, he'll be interested in that. So that's fine. Taking a look at our construction here, we can see that we are beginning construction on our supply hubs. That's fantastic. We're going to be done on 9 June on this nuclear reactor. And that's absolutely great. And the latest nuclear reactor will be done on 30 October. So that is definitely noted. Yes, we have very low supplies. We're aware of that. Modern large airframes have finished up. For the moment, we're not too concerned about that. And we're mostly just trying to prevent them from doing stuff over here. That's all we're trying to do. Landing, in particular. So that'll be fine. I would love to link this up. But for the moment, that's not a huge priority. That said, our supply depots are being worked on. 27 August for this one. That's really not so bad. Almost all of our supply depots are actually being worked on at this point. Not quite all, but we're getting there. I do want to check in on our tech here. Okay, we're researching nuclear bombs. That's literally the only tech that we don't have. But as our nuclear reactors are starting to come online, we will start to get nukes. So that means we should have some form of strategic bomber, probably, if we want to be able to drop them. The question is, how important is that really? I don't know how much we really need nukes, to be honest. There's nothing that we can do for prospecting for the moment. That's great. We're really happy to see that. And there's another modern tank brigade that will absolutely go into this army. Cool. Is that another? Nope, those are infantry divisions. Into the reserves they go. Cool. So how are we doing on our constructions here? Well, it's 10 July at this moment, and we do not have this supply hub underway just yet. Noted. Things have stalemated, and that's, of course, due to the lack of supply in the region. There's just no infrastructure built because we skipped Victoria. There's no infrastructure anywhere. We have to build it as we go, which is fine. I don't mind that. In fact, I kind of like it. I find this to be almost more enjoyable. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird, but I like building logistics networks. So we're going to be finishing up our nuclear reactors in Zanzibar on 3 August. That's great. Absolutely fantastic. Because that's going to put this supply hub under construction. And that's good. That will mean that all of these hubs will be under construction. That said, there won't be any supplies in these hubs until we get some of these railroads built. And there's a lot of railroads, but there's even more infrastructure to be built. And eventually we'll be able to queue up more of that infrastructure as well, because there's going to be a bunch up here that we've taken since we queued up our infrastructure. So that's fine. I'm not too concerned about that. 3 August, so only a couple of days until the Zanzibar nuclear reactor finishes. That's absolutely great, and we are currently boosted by Race for the Bomb. Cool. When are we going to get the bomb research? 30 days? Okay, so that's a broadly similar time frame to when we're going to finish all of this. Not exactly the same, but within about a month. And that's not too bad, all things considered. So we're now starting construction on our supply hub in Ontario. But it's going to take a while, with only 5 factories working on it. There will be more eventually, but we need to finish up these nuclear reactors. That is definitely the top priority, getting that done, so that we can build up our nuclear stockpile. Okay, let's check in on our logistics here. We're negative on our infantry equipment in this operational pause. Now that's interesting. In that case, we'll go ahead and do this. Cool. Also, we have way more trucks than we need. We're going to go down to 20 factories on trucks. That should do. That should do. How are we actually doing on trucks there? Yeah, 10.7. That looks good. So, wait, we need anti-tank for something? I saw that we were negative in anti-tank. Maybe one of the reserve divisions. I don't know. There's our nuclear bombs finishing. 4.1% per day. That should be acceptable for building up our nuclear bomb stockpile. I like it. We're going to have more nuclear reactors finishing up soon, but we're also finishing up our supply hubs and beginning to work on our rail network. So that'll be great. We're going to be able to engage again soon. And that sounds very good to me. So that'll be finishing up, let's see, 10 October and 6 January for the last supply hub. It should be a broadly similar time frame to when all of these railways are finishing up, realistically. It should be similar. Because this will be done on 30 October. All of this will get repurposed into railway construction. That sounds about right. About right. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. Cool. So this looks absolutely fine to me. No problem whatsoever here. We're going to have our first nuke done in about 4 days. Cool. We've generated 145.9% world tension, which is kind of hilarious. Sure. Nova Scotia is now guaranteeing the independence of Louisiana, which is hilarious. I don't think they're in much of a position to guarantee their own independence, let alone someone else's. But we're going to be finishing up these constructions very shortly here. So that's great. Our nukes are finishing. And this is looking absolutely solid. Ish. Solid-ish. Okay, there we go. 21 October and then 30 October. So under a month until all of our nuclear reactors are done. We're making 5.2% per day on our bombs. Not bad. We will have a very, very solid nuclear bomb stockpile. I like it. So we're going to get these supply hubs done soon-ish. This one will be done on 10 October, 25 November, and 6 January. So looking in at our supplies, this is the reason why we're not advancing right now. We just have to wait for these constructions to finish, and they were delayed by our nuclear reactors. So that's completely fine. I'm not concerned about that. All of these railways will finish up soon enough. There's not that many railways to be built there, so that's absolutely great. We should be pretty much golden on that by the time this guy finishes. 6 January? Yeah, realistically, I think we'll be done with our railways by then. Cool. So we will be resuming our attacks here fairly soon. We just need to get supplies out to our units. We also need to continue to work on this. I always forget to do that. Oh, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We're not going to do any collaboration governments. I can tell you that right now. We could think about exerting heroism. Yeah, I wouldn't mind more war support. And how are we doing on our absolutism? Oh, we're 100%. No problem there. We could work on improved worker conditions if we wanted some stability. It's not necessarily the best thing to do because of the factory output and the consumer goods factory's malice, especially while we're trying to construct this heavily. So I'm not sure that that's really what we want to do right now, but we could do that. It's an option. But I don't necessarily think it's a great option. So that'll be fine. We're almost working on all of these railways. Only 4 more to go here. And that'll be underway very shortly. Now there's 3 more. So we've got this infantry division that goes into our reserves. I like it. And Nova Scotia here is going to fall. Actually, we've commenced our attacks here. We do have a rail link here. So this is fine. This has commenced its attacks, and these guys don't really have any attack line ordered. That's because we want to link this up. We're currently divided into 2 fronts over here, and I'd like to get them linked. But getting this taken care of first is a pretty big deal, honestly. Oh, this is our 26th division? Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Fascinating. So it looks like we're going to get them pushed back here and get this taken over. No problem whatsoever here, I think. We're winning this. Winning. We have not won it. Supplies in this area are non-awful. I am noting that there is a lack of connection. We don't have this queued up, which we should. And there's a lack of connection here, which there should be a connection. We'll get that underway. Cool. And we should be starting to push over here as well soon. Right? This is technically within our territory. Okay, noted. So what's going on over here? We just have not built out this railway yet. Noted. That's absolutely fine. So we'll get that done. Infantry division goes into our reserves. There we go. And we'll see if we break onto this... not really an island. I guess this is a peninsula. Cool. So in we go. We're currently losing this attack. Now we're winning it. Now we're losing it. All we need to do is push them back a bit here. So this is just a bit of a meat grinder, but we pushed their tank out of there. Not that tanks are that great defensively, but they're starting to get pushed back. They cannot maintain this. We are going to take this position. They'll probably cycle in reinforcements, but I don't see a scenario where they win this, especially if we order a full-on attack here. Cool. They're definitely cycling troops. There's no doubt about that. This modern tank brigade can be sent on over to that front. We'll see if they get there in time to help out. And this out over here still has not finished its construction. It must be at the wrong position. What do we got here? Military factories, naval dockyards, infrastructure. Oh, that's this. Okay, it's just that it decided to do this literally last. Got it. Okay. Fair enough. That'll be done on 23 March. So we will have a connection here shortly, and we'll start pushing in there. So these guys will be eventually pushing in here, but it's going to be a bit hard fought. I think that's pretty clear, with them cycling troops around. But we have the distinct advantage. And another tank is actually going to be a big deal. There we go. We've pushed in. Okay, how do we get here? Do we have to naval invade this? No. Okay. Come on in. Apparently there's a... Oh, yeah, I see it here. There's a crossing here. So let's get that back line taken care of. And we can get these guys cut off a bit. Yes, that is great. So these guys have no access to supply at this time. We can see them stack wiping. That's exactly what we want. Beautiful. I'm a little surprised these guys are holding out as well as they have. Okay, so this is under our control now. Come on out here, all you tanks. I want this unit to stack wipe. We'll take Truro here in a moment. That is their capital. We'll see if they capitulate after this, actually. Are we expecting them to capitulate here? No, I don't think we are. But there's their capital falling. They did capitulate. Wow. I did not expect them to capitulate there. But sure. We'll take everything. Now, we can actually just take all of this right now. Submit those demands. There are no available demands left. Confirm and exit. Beautiful. No, Brazil is not ready yet. Okay, so Nova Scotia has fallen. I expected us to have to grind our way through this, but no. That's absolutely fantastic. So now we need to start thinking about, like, Laurentia up here. Louisiana, Angelina. Those are things that we need to think about. and they're going to be kind of interesting to get. So first things first, I'm going to delete this order, and we're going to look at... Yeah, that's going to be really awkward. Okay, so we're going to have to do this in a per army basis. So this front line is fine. We'll need a front line here. We'll need a front line over here. Awkwardly enough, we'll need a front line over here. And then one up here, which is going to be like a small portion. This stuff over here, it's a lot. There's a lot here. I think what we'll do is we'll look at eliminating Angelinia first. So something kind of like this. And then we will come on in here. They're not being guaranteed right now. I would like to start justifying against Angelinia. So that'll take 60 days. We'll see if Louisiana guarantees them, or Laurentia. If either of them do, that's going to make this a very wide war, and we're probably going to have to bring in additional forces. But we'll see. For right now, we're at peace. And it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to queue up a whole lot of infrastructure, first off. In fact, we can do that right now. But next episode, we are going to prepare to continue to take over all of North America. And that will be absolutely fantastic. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, James, Shadowwolf, MLohan80, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Unisil, Kadra, Rogue Corvid, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.